Welcome, folks. It's Talk to Solomon time. That's me, Stan Solomon, my co-host.
Chief Steve.
And also with us tonight, our internationally known constitutional expert, Brent Johnson. Brent, how are you this evening?
Doing just fine, and thanks so much, Stan.
Always a pleasure to have you with us. By the way, you can find Brent's vast array of work at freedomradio.us. Freedomradio.us. And what's the number they can call to talk with you?
Toll-free number is 888-385-3733. That's 888-385-FREE or freedomradio.us. Thanks so much, Stan.
All right. Now, our guest this half hour is Ted Shoebat. Ted, good evening. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very good, sir. Good to be on.
It's always a pleasure to have you back. How is your dad, Waleed, by the way?
He's doing very well. Very busy, too.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. I mean, his name is now bandied about in more and more places, and I'm constantly seeing it.
Yes.
Let's just start with the situation in Iran. It has now been, I guess, confirmed that one of the two major Iranian centrifuge facilities has been, for all practical purposes, blown up. And there are hundreds of people still trapped way underground. This thing is down 10 or 20 stories, whatever the case may be. What do you know about that, and what does this mean?
Well, we always know that Iran has been, at the moment, always trying to build nuclear weapons, nuclear facilities. To be honest with you, I have not been informed on the situation going on in Iran right now. I've been focusing very much on Egypt and Jordan and Libya and Syria. But in regards to Iran, let me just give you my opinion on that. People think that Iran is trying to nuke Israel, but the reality is this: that Iran, their main priority is actually to destroy Saudi Arabia more so than Israel. If they ever do get a nuclear bomb, which I believe they will eventually, they will bomb Saudi Arabia before they ever hit Israel. They know, I think Iran knows better that if they ever attempt to toss a nuke into Israel, Israel will just wipe them off the face of the map. So they're not that stupid. They know what the consequences of that. As opposed to fighting against Arabia, Arabia is a much more weak nation militarily than Israel and Iran. So Iran could easily destroy that country. They want to destroy Arabia because not only is it a Sunni country, but they supported Saddam Hussein when Saddam Hussein was slaughtering the Iranians in the Iraq-Iran war. And that's my take on that. But,
right.
When you look... Yeah.
Let us then shift gears to Egypt. We are hearing an Egyptian military leader saying the country might descend back into chaos.
Yeah, it's in chaos right now. You have Port Said right now going against the Al-Atras team. You have two football teams. The fans are killing each other. But also you have the government now prosecuting those who are rioting, and now you have major riots going on in the Suez Canal area, and the police are fighting with the people. And then also you have on top of that the opposition to Morsi, a huge opposition, tens of thousands of people. My opinion is that Egypt right now is on the verge of civil war, and it's only inevitable. It is only a matter of time that Egypt right now will enter into a very bloody civil war. Mohammed al-Baradei, the father of the revolution himself, said that in a matter of months, he predicts, I believe in the middle of this year, you will see the Egyptian economy completely collapse, the Egyptian pound gone, useless, with no value, and a civil war taking place in the country. It's just inevitable. And it's all because of the Muslim Brotherhood. Now, the Muslim Brotherhood, what they are doing right now is they're not taking account for the evils that they're doing. What they are doing right now is they're blaming the chaos and the economic crisis on their political enemies. They're blaming it on those who are against Morsi. What Morsi is doing is he's taking the opportunity, he's taking the emotions of the people, which is very fierce and angry right now, taking that emotion and using it for his own good, using it against his political enemies. And pretty soon, I believe, you're going to see the government committing a great slaughter on the opposition, because Morsi, if you go back a number of months ago, he had imported a number of weapons from Libya into Egypt, which he can use by his own will. They are not connected to the military whatsoever. The only thing keeping Egypt right now in order is the military. And once Morsi takes full control of the country, once you have the parliament in Egypt 100% Islamist, either Muslim Brotherhood or Salafi, you're going to see Egypt become a full tyrannical Sharia state.
Let me go around the panel here. Brent.
I wanted to, before we get to Egypt, I did want to make a comment that I looked into a little bit into the nuclear explosion in Iran, and apparently, what I've been able to tell, Israel has said that they have not been able to confirm that there was an explosion. They'd be delighted if there was, they're saying, but they have not actually confirmed an explosion, and of course, Iran said there was no explosion. So I don't think we really know yet what has happened at that facility or whether anything has happened at that facility. Concerning Egypt, I think what Ted is saying is so right on. The Muslim Brotherhood essentially wants to take over the Middle East, essentially. And, you know, we see them in Syria, we see them in Egypt. They're creeping around everywhere. And, you know, personally, I think that, you know, the Muslim Brotherhood is going to make, if possible, the situations in all those countries much more volatile as they gain more power. And, you know, whether intentionally or not, the U.S. is supporting them. You know, they're supporting the status quo in Egypt. They're supporting a regime change in Syria, and all of it tends to be support for the Muslim Brotherhood. I think that we have a lot to be concerned about with respect to the Muslim Brotherhood.
Chief.
As far as Iran, I don't know how or why this nuclear plant exploded, but I'm glad that it did. And further in Iran, except for the biblical historical sites, I hope the whole place blows up. As far as Egypt is concerned, I want to remind everybody that two prominent Americans promoted the current Muslim Brotherhood government that's there now and support it still to this day, and that is Barack Obama and Hillary Rodham Clinton.
True, true. All right, Ted, connect Egypt with what's happening in the other countries that you're focused on, Syria and Libya and so on.
Well, definitely. Well, I think the country that we should also focus on right now. We're focusing on Egypt. We're focusing on Libya, Syria. Those are the main hotbeds for Islamism right now. But the country that we're not focusing on too much is Jordan. Jordan is going to be another Egypt, in my opinion. The media is not paying attention to it, but here's the fact. Since 2011, the Muslim Brotherhood has been trying to infiltrate the Jordanian government of King Abdullah. Just focusing on taking over the government. They've always wanted to take the government, but they've been focusing with the most passion, with the most arduousness than ever since 2011. The Muslim Brotherhood is now the most powerful political party in Jordan. Also, on top of that, you have the influx of Syrian refugees coming from Syria. They are jihadists. They want Sharia. They want Islamic fundamentalism to reign over Jordan. You have over 100,000 and counting number of refugees entering Jordan as entering Jordan. And also, on top of that, you have Jordanians going to Syria as jihadists. They are fighting against the government of Bashar al-Assad. Eventually, these jihadists are going to come back home to Jordan. And once they do, they're going to be more fanatic than ever, and they're going to want to see their country not under Arab nationalism, but under Islamic universalism, under Islamic socialistic collectivism, under a Sharia state. So add that to the fact that the Muslim Brotherhood is right now the most powerful and the most large political party in Jordan. You're going to see a major cultural shift happen in the country, and what you're also going to see is a repetition of Egypt. What took place in Egypt is going to happen in Jordan. So soon you're going to see the same thing that happened in Egypt happen in the same country. The next Mubarak is King Abdullah.
Now, let me ask you this, Ted, and we'll get other input from the panel. Israel, and we talked about this last time you were on, has what they call the Samson option. If Jordan falls to the Islamists, if Egypt, and of course it seems to be falling apart, as you just pointed out, but if Egypt turns on Israel, and then you have Iraq with all of its supposed westernization, it'll turn on Israel. Iran
Yes.
will turn on Israel. Syria, once the Islamists have control there, they'll turn on Israel. Israel cannot fight all those people at once without tremendous losses. So Israel has already said if it has to, it's going to take all those countries out. It's just going to wipe them off the face of the map, and Israel may or may not survive, but none of the Arabs will either. Have you heard about that, and what's the discussion?
Yeah, I heard about it from you, actually, a couple of times I've been on this show. So I actually learned it from you, by the way. But you make a very good point, and I believe that what you say will happen. You're going to see all these countries unite against Israel. As a Christian, it's in the, I mean, I'll say it right now, it's in the Bible. All the nations around Israel will go against her. Israel will become a trembling cup to all the nations. Remember the book of Maccabees. What happened in the Maccabean War? You had all the nations of the East go against Israel. It wasn't just Antiochus Epiphanes and the Syrian kingdom. It was Saudi Arabia, it was Lebanon, it was Arabia. It was all of these nations gathered together against Israel. And that's why you had the Maccabean War in the first place. 6 Days War, the same thing. And Israel had the ability to withstand on its own. And I believe it's a miracle. So, secularly speaking, yes, Israel wouldn't be able to withstand such a collective attack. But with miracles and with God on Israel's side, I believe Israel will be victorious in this great war, in this great coming war that's going to happen. You bring up another good point, which is Iraq. We have kind of lost focus on Iraq, but Iraq right now, from what I have heard and from I've talked to people from that country, Iraq right now is in almost complete anarchy. You have the influx of jihadists from all over the world, from Chechnya, from the southern steppes, from the CIS nations, all of them, Afghans, from all over the Middle East, coming into Iraq to make Iraq into this jihadist nation. And you're going to see Iraq become a fully Sharia state. Another point I want to make, and then I'll let the other guests say what they need to say. I just want to make this one last point also, is that in Egypt, you're going to be seeing the legalization of cannibalism against Christians, of cannibalism, the eating of human flesh, because Al-Azhar University just this month made a declaration, put in their curriculum, their high school curriculum, that it is okay for a Muslim to kill and eat the flesh of a non-believer, or to kill a Muslim who does not pray 5 times a day and eat his flesh, as long as it is not cooked or grilled. That is the rules that they have for cannibalism.
It's not cooked? You mean they eat them raw?
You eat it raw. So, and here's the thing also, is in Mursi's new constitution, it says that any law that has to do with Islam in Egypt must first be accepted by Al-Azhar University scholars. Well, Al-Azhar University scholars have already accepted cannibalism against apostates and Christians. So you're going to be seeing cannibalism legalized and used in Egypt as a way of killing and mutilating the dead bodies of Christians and Copts. It's going to be happening. Egypt is going to be a nation of zombies. Now, I'm not going to say that all Muslims are going to be partaking in this, but you're going to see it happen. There's no doubt about it. Because when in Ramallah in the 90s, let's not forget, there were 2 Israeli soldiers who were lynched by Muslims, and after they threw their bodies off a window, many of the Muslims gathered around the bodies. They opened up the stomachs of the 2 Israeli soldiers, and they began to eat their entrails and scream Allahu Akbar and scream, "I eat the flesh of my enemies." And in Iraq, when you had in the 20s, in the 40s, and the 30s, when you had a lot of Jews still living in Iraq, the Iraqis used to come to Jewish people and poke a knife into the Jewish person's body and then drain a little bit of blood and lick the blood. And they used to say the blood of Jews is said to be the most sweet to drink. So it has happened. It's happened in our modern day, and you're going to see it happen at a much wider scale.
And of course,
it's only a matter of time.
There's crucifixions also that are going on, correct?
That's correct. That's because in the Quran it says in the Surah of the Tablecloth that you may implement salb, or crucifixion, on the enemies of Allah. And also, Al-Shafi'i, who is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, Islamic scholar on Sharia, says that it is okay for a Muslim to kill and eat an apostate of Islam. That is where the Al-Azhar scholars got their justification for this curriculum that they put in the textbooks for high school students to learn. So, and let's not forget, Obama spoke in Al-Azhar University in 2009. This is the university that he spoke at. This is the great, prestigious university that he thought was so excellent and civil. They're now promoting cannibalism, Mr. Obama.
Well, you use Mr. and Obama. I use a little different introduction. Let's go to Brent. Brent, your comments.
I actually, there's very little to say about this thing with cannibalism. I don't doubt your sources, Ted, but I sure hope that you're wrong. I mean, that just thinking about it gives me a bit of chills. You're talking about people going into a savagery that has probably not been seen on this planet for a long, long, long time.
Yeah, it goes back to the pre-Christian paganistic rituals that they used to do all throughout the Middle East of eating human beings' flesh. And if anybody doesn't believe me or they want to get more information and want to see my sources on this, they can simply go to shoebat.com, and it's right there up on the front page. It's entitled Islam and Cannibalism.
SHOEBAT.com.
That's right. That's right.
Chief?
For all the Christians out there, if you've never heard the word Maccabee, I'd encourage you to look it up as soon as this program's over. But without the Maccabees, there would be no Christianity. So therefore, all Christians have Jewish roots. You should examine that and find out how really important the Maccabees are to the Christian faith. It's been my observation that the Muslims in the Middle East, outside the ones that live in Israel, are not content unless they're savagely murdering someone. So first, if there's a Jew around, they get it. Second, if there's a Christian around, they get it. If they're not around, they're happy to kill each other. So hopefully, they will destroy each other off before they actually get to Israel or to us.
Don't count on that. All right.
I said hopefully.
Yeah, I know. That is hope. Ted, in the Middle East, there is, I don't know what the word is, there is kind of a feeling that the die is set, that it's not an if, but only when this chaos, this carnage, this catastrophe happens. What are you hearing, or what has your research shown you? Because the people, quote unquote, on the street, which you hear all the time, they can't want there to be no future for their kids.
Well, if you look at what the Egyptian people themselves are saying, what they are saying is this, and this is coming from the Coptic peoples, and I'll just read to you a statement. This is from Bishop Samir Mazloum, who is the patriarchal vicar of the Maronite Catholic Church in Lebanon and Syria. This is what he had to say. He said, "Today, Christians in the Middle East are jeopardized not only from the point of view of the observance of their rights, but also from the point of view of their very existence." So right now, you're right. It's not a matter of what's going to happen. It's a matter of when it's going to happen. It's only a matter of time when this ticking time bomb first detonates. And you make a good point. What about people who are just living in the Middle East, just trying to live their lives and take care of their families? Well, of course, most of the Middle East is that. But you have to understand that this idea of Sharia and Islam is not just something some individuals pick up and they want to go pick up a gun and go do mujahideen. This is grafted in the culture. It is part of the very fabric of the Islamic consciousness that is throughout the Near East. Look at the elections. It sounds unbelievable, but look at the elections in Egypt. Over 75% of people in Egypt voted for an Islamic parliament. Majority of people want Sharia. If you look at what the Supreme Court judge of Egypt said, he said that the great majority of Egyptians want the Muslim Brotherhood. If you look at what the Constitution Party of Mohammed al-Baradei said, they said that the only people stopping Sharia from happening is the Muslim Brotherhood. They are the ones calling the shot. The people want Sharia. Most of the people in Egypt want Sharia. But as far as who is controlling, who is dictating when it is implemented, it is purely the Muslim Brotherhood. They're only waiting for the right time. And that time will come, I believe, once they take all the seats of parliament and once they can guarantee and make it official that they are fully in power of Egypt. Because right now you have the military, right now you have a lot of opposition toward the government, right now you have a lot of political enemies going against the Muslim Brotherhood. They want to make sure that's all gone. They first want to guarantee and officiate their dominance over the nation.
That is just scary. There's nothing else to say. It's
well,
scary.
if you look at there's an interesting statement from Nahid Adli, who was a Coptic who lives in Egypt, and this is what she had to say. She said, "My reading is that they're waiting, meaning the Muslim Brotherhood. Muslim Brotherhood is waiting till the election, till they get everything, and when they are done taking over all the seats of power, then they can focus on us, meaning the church in Egypt." So it's only a matter of time. We just need to wait for the party, the Islamists, to take full power over the nation. That's when you're going to see the bloodshed and the carnage.
Now, people don't know, perhaps, but Coptic Christians are about 10% of the population of Egypt. So you're not talking 200,000 or 300,000. You're talking 10 million.
Yes, yeah, and, about 10 to 17%. Yeah,
and they are armed. They're not just praying for help. They fight back. When you come into one of their areas, they go into one of your areas, type of thing. Right. So they're not going to just lay down and die.
Yeah, many of them will fight. We see the same thing going on in Syria. We have a lot of the Syrian Christians are well armed. The government provided them a lot of good firepower, and they're very good at turf warfare. They're not just sitting ducks. They're not waiting to become the victims. The Middle East has a very long history in turf warfare, and they're willing to illustrate their skill in that. So look at what's happening in Syria. The Syrian Christians have taken over many blocks of the streets of Aleppo and the streets of Damascus, for example, against the jihadists who want to take control over those cities. So yes, many Christians will fight, but at the same time, I think many Christians will be slaughtered. And it's going to be another Holocaust. Right now, I think America is very similar to pre-Holocaust times. Right before the Holocaust, many Americans, many Jews even in America, didn't care, even though a lot of reporters were talking about it, a lot of newspapers were talking about the Holocaust, or the things that Hitler was doing before the Holocaust. Still, a lot of people didn't really care until after the fact. So that's what we're seeing now. Most Americans don't care about they don't really care about what is to come to their Christian brethren in the Near East, and I think they will care, though, until after the fact, until we see a major Holocaust.
It won't stop there, that's for sure. Ted Shoebat, Shoebat.com, S-H-O-E-B-A-T, Shoebat.com. Folks, you need to check that site on a regular basis so you can keep abreast of what's happening. Thanks, Ted. Appreciate your being with us.
God bless you, sir.
All right, we'll be back shortly with Dr. Alan Keyes. Stay tuned. Do you like being healthy? I do. In fact, this product, which I've been taking for years now, is absolutely the answer. Now, you may not believe it, but I'm actually 21, plus tax, of course. This product has 146 different healthful nutrients in it, and it's liquid, so it's bioavailable. It tastes great, and it's sugar-free. 1 ounce of Sonic Life each day will help you to maintain and enhance your health. It's the kind of a gift, well, that you'll thank your mom for, your husband for, your wife for, your kids for. Whoever you give it to, they're going to say thank you. And you are going to enjoy the benefits of having all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients your body needs in one very reasonably priced product. Just go to cpnlive.com and everything's right there. You'll be able to read all the ingredients. The price is right there, a flat price delivered to your door anywhere in the United States of America. Sonic Life is a gift, a great gift. Give it to yourself. I do. Hey, my name is Stan Solomon, and you know if I have something to say, I'll say it. And I'll only tell you the truth because I'm a Republican, not a Democrat. Democrats always lie. Republicans only lie half the time. I don't lie at all. This is the Fuel Mule. It's an extraordinary product that was developed by a friend of mine, an engineer, and it increases the fuel mileage on your vehicle. If you have a combustion engine, this will increase your mileage by 10 to 20%. It bolts around your fuel line. You can install it yourself or have your mechanic do it. It is an extraordinary item, and it flat works. I've been using it for more than 10 years. It's increased my mileage on every vehicle I put it on, and by the way, it will last forever. You can get rid of your vehicle, just take it off and put on the next one. Go to cpnlive.com. You'll have more information there. You can order it right there. We absolutely guarantee you'll be satisfied. The Fuel Mule. It's a way to kick down your cost of fuel and kick up your mileage. Don't you love the name? I thought of it. The Fuel Mule. You have a computer, if you're alive today, which means you have a hard drive, which means it's going to break down. Mosey, the backup people, for thousands, for Stan, for thousands of people, for tens of thousands of people, is simply common sense. You go to cpnlive.com, click on the icon for Mosey, the backup people, and sign up. It's just a few dollars a month. Let me tell you something. We had a break-in. They stole our whole computer. You know what? When they take the computer, you can't recover anything, but we had Mosey. We had the backup. We were able to restore everything simply by buying another computer. cpnlive.com, click on the icon for Mosey, the backup people, and give yourself common sense, peace of mind, great value, the best thing you've ever done. Sooner or later, it's going to be Mosey, the backup people. I like to eat. You like to eat? We all do. And usually we run to the grocery store, we run to the convenience store, or we have something in the fridge. But power's been out in parts of this country in the last few weeks. We don't know what's going to come down the pike economically. Smart people are putting in food. Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves is a line of foods that you can put away that will last for a very long time. You know, they say eat what you store and store what you eat. This is great tasting stuff, healthy for you, a full line. You go to our website, cpnlive.com, and click on the button for Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves and see all the different things we have. This is good tasting food. It's reasonably priced. It will last. And it's worth its weight in gold if a problem arises. I know you don't think there's going to be anything that goes wrong. Actually, you do. This is smart. This is smart insurance. This is smart preparation. This is smart thinking. You have kids, you have a spouse, you have parents, you have dependents, you have an appetite. All those things can be addressed by a frugal but smart investment in Alpine Air Gourmet Reserves. Try them out. You will be tickled to death with the taste of them. You know what? In many cases, people start to eat this and they think, heck, this tastes better and costs less than what you're going to the grocery store to buy. cpnlive.com, check it out. Let me ask you a question. Do you like being sick? I have in my hand an incredible product. It's called TR10 Supercolloidal Silver. TR10 stands for a trace to the negative 10th power. The particles in this silver product are 6 to 8 angstroms, 6 to 8 10 billionths of a meter. Now listen to me. Silver has been the magic bullet for all of human existence. The Egyptians used silver instruments. We use silverware. They put silver in your teeth because nothing can grow on silver. Silver will kill anything but liberalism. I'm working on that. This product, you go to cpnlive.com, buy 1 quart of this product. It will last you for a very long time. Anytime you feel like you've been exposed to something bad, take some of this product, spray it in your mouth, or take a little bit and gargle it, swallow it. It will kill any pathogen. The average antibiotic kills 10 to 20 different pathogens. This product will kill 700 plus. Do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do your doctor a favor. He's tired of seeing you. Get supercolloidal silver. Go to cpnlive.com, order the product. It's $29.95 plus shipping. I think it's $39.95 delivered any place in America right to your door. It's worth 10 times that. Check it out. If you're not 100% happy, just return it and we'll give you your money back.